Artist Journal, September 19th, 2022, Berlin. My name is Adrian Pocobelli. I gotta say, I am still taken aback by all the comments. I don't know what I'm gonna tell my friends. Guys, I started this YouTube channel, okay, sure, but people are watching it. People are actually watching it. I mean, I brought this up, 129 views. Like, to me, that's like talking to a room of 129 people. That's wild. I mean, for YouTube, this is nothing, but I find that wild. And very nice comment here. Stumbled across your channel a week ago. Absolutely loving it. Keep it up. Been looking to get in on Tezos, and you've been a great guide. Thank you, OX Benji. And I've gotten a few messages like that. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it just means a lot. I mean, I got this one from Joe Rogan's dad. I was thinking, this looks like a Minta painting. As I was kind of doing a little bit of prep here, just getting everything sorted out. Me talking about the show. Anyways, it looks like a Minta meta work here. Anyways, very nice comments here from everybody, or people in the community, elder statesman there, Joe Rogan's dad. And okay, so I want to go into this, another tweet. I want to go into this, but I did want to touch on this article because there's a couple of things that are not being said. Everybody's talking about this article on Twitter, seemingly, but a couple of things aren't being said that I think are just important as we kind of just sort out for lack of a better term, the traditional art media and how to kind of evaluate what they're saying when it comes, let's say, to NFTs, for example. So let's just go. I don't want to spend too much time. I want to focus on just interesting art business here, which is much more interesting. But this is important, I think, and illustrative. So just very, very quickly, of course, there's this article that went out a couple of days ago, maybe before the weekend. Here's how NFTs went the way of Beanie Babies. And again, I don't even barely know what Beanie Babies are, so it kind of says a lot. I'm kind of back to this older crowd, right? Unless you know what Beanie Babies are. And nothing wrong with that, by the way, but, you know. So on September 15th, ArtNet News published a story by Amy Castor, The Boom and Bust, How NFTs Went the Way of Beanie Babies. Whilst the perspective of this story does not necessarily reflect the strategic position of ArtNet, we believe in a free and independent press to facilitate a rigorous debate on the big issues affecting art and the art market. ArtNet is committed to the pursuit of innovation and experimentation at the intersection of art and technology in an effort to maintain a thriving and accessible art market for the modern collector. So actually, I don't really disagree with any of this. But the problem is, I'm all for a rigorous debate. The problem is this is in the market part of the ArtNet News, where it's kind of like this outsold this is expected to go for 100 million, you know. And then if we scroll down, we see the boom and bust how NFTs. So you could say fair enough, but then have NFTs become the tackiest status symbol starts to get into opinion. Okay? And again, I don't want to dwell on this too long, but if you look at the other subheadlines, the inaugural collection is a collaboration, so a fact. The single double-sided sheet is from the most treasured manuscript of the Shaman. So fact. Okay, so it's all facts. This jersey is now the most expensive piece, a fact. And then here it's kind of like this, are they the tackiest status symbol now? So to me, this should be in the opinion section, which it is not. And so if we're going to promote this as news, then it should be correct, right? Because you can say whatever you want in the op-ed section, right? But then, you know, we have this, and very quickly, and then I want to get to the art, but it's very illustrative. In early 2021, NFTs were pitched as a way for artists to make life-changing money. All you needed was a token. So artists raced out to buy ethers so they could mint NFTs of their work. No mention of Tezos, by the way. Only the money didn't pour in unless your name was Beeple. And, you know, factually incorrect. I mean, I had my best year as an artist by far. I made as much as my side gig, almost. I mean, not true, okay? Now all that is left of the once overly hyped NFT market is dust in the wind. Well, I think this show, I think we debate that, okay? So again, this is being promoted as news. If this is opinion, fine, who cares? Everybody have your, be controversial. NFTs are becoming an attractive piece of history. Again, very subjective. I think a lot of us would disagree with that. People aren't trading them. Is that your experience? And the only ones talking about them are those trying to sell them. So again, and then it goes into OpenSea, like you wonder if this person has ever been on Tezos. So the moral of the story here is, again, this is being promoted as news. This is the sin that is still not fixed. Actually, I have zero problem with people voicing skepticism. In fact, that's actually quite typical. Okay, that's the reality out there. So if you don't think people are skeptical of NFTs, like, again, that's what I saw. Remember that video 2 or 3 days ago, being out at Berlin Art Week. Skepticism remains. So anyways, the issue is this is being promoted as fact, as news. And that's the problem, because it's actually inaccurate. So the takeaway here is, so we can get to some art here, the takeaway is basically don't take your marching orders from the traditional art media if this is what they're promoting as fact, because it's clearly wrong. So that's all I have to say on that. Have your opinion. I'm all for people voicing their opinion because I have big opinions. So I'm not someone that wants to be told to be quiet and you can't say that. Go crazy. I just think it should be in the opinion. That's the sin that still hasn't been fixed. And I don't know what the editors are doing there, or editor. So that's just my comment that I think that was just worth touching on. So just saw this tweet, again, Joe Rogan's dad, all of those incoming offers on Die with the Most Likes pieces, nothing but noise. And I was like, this is the one I missed by like 10 seconds here. So I brought up Die with the Most Likes edition that he did with Fake Whale. And look at this. Someone bought it for $569. Again, this was minted 2 days ago for $150. So, or September 15th, it's the 19th. So 4 days ago. Just sold for $569, and there are offers for $200 and $269. So not dust in the wind, if you want to see them, that looks pretty vibrant to me. Okay. And a quick update on this piece that we're looking at. Georgie from Culture 3 sent me a nice little heads up on what the flag is about, because I was sort of clueless, and it's kind of central to the piece. And actually, let's just bring up what she was saying here. The flag in the Die with the Most Likes work you referenced is a take on the Barstool Sports media outlet, which sells a flag depicting Saturdays are for the boys. They're an interesting group of journalists and content creators who love to stir things up. So I brought it up, and so here we go. So it's a whole kind of American thing. It's an American meme, basically, for lack of better terms. So crucial to understanding this work here. Because I was sort of mystified. I'm like, is this a state flag? Like, what is this? So thank you, Georgie, for cluing me in. Much appreciated. On to the art. Haiti Rocket puts out this mysterious work here. 50 by 50 pixel. Looks like a new series, and I'm always paying attention when Haiti does something new. He has proven himself. And so just an interesting work. Did this go for sale? A little higher than his normal 13 Tezos that he does 420 on the glitch ROM. So he varies it up depending on the series. So this sold 3 of them right away. And so, and the rest are burned. So there was edition of 6. So just kind of an interesting work. Let's see if he follows up on it. I thought this was a really kind of interesting pixel work by Ed Marola, who I keep coming back to. And I think it's interesting doing this daily show, seeing who you come back to, because I'm not planning these things. Like, I save stuff on the way. I basically bookmark things along the way. And so it's very interesting to see those artists you come back to. And so Ed Marola, I thought for one Tezos edition of 12, I just think it's a beautiful pixel work. It looks abstract, although there is a figure here called Blue Sky and then called Super Purple in the description. So just interesting. This might not be for everybody, but I just thought this artist is another who I've just kind of bought from the start, and it may seem untypical or kind of like, just kind of, is this art? Is this a video game? And I'll tell you why I like it, which is it basically takes the video game trope, the video game, for lack of a better term, motif, and it turns it into an art piece. And I just like that idea. It's basically, we've played games that have this angle. So to turn that into a kind of art series, I just think is inherently interesting. So that is why D2Z Creator, who sells quite well, usually the pieces sell out. I mean, I'll just give you a quick look here. So you can see it's all like these video game sort of things, and nice market. I mean, edition of 30 going for 10 Tezos here usually sells out. Okay, so nice one of one. I would have been tempted to pick these up. Moon Knight, so very nice works here. So I just think interesting, noteworthy. Okay, cover your eyes if you are sensitive to flashing. I'm going to move this right away, but just a quick look, and then I just thought it was interesting, an interesting work on the creation of Adam by Renato Marini. It just caught my eye. I saw it on Twitter and I brought it up. A little update from Rustic Digital Art on the brain-breaking work. So it continues, Daxi Triver, be my shrink for the hour. So it's fun to watch this develop in real time practically on Twitter. Continuing on, so there were a couple of homages to what's becoming an iconic work in AI after only 2 weeks of Thug Lord. And so we have another one. Go to those earlier episodes. I'm trying to keep these short if you're looking. So this was first made by I keep coming back to Wasteman Goldminovich. So this was first put out, and then a picture inspired by Nike Hood Vermeer guy. And then that was burned and then added the Pepe in there. So now a one of one selling for 45. So the homage was updated like an hour later. So pretty hilarious. New collaboration with Morlacos. And I guess that's looking like Morlacos' self-portrait with the clouds and the ladders in the sky. So I want to just point this out because it's a collaboration with Elo Joan Lafleur, whose work I had seen before, but you see the power of collaboration, again, which is kind of unique to this digital space here. Because now all of a sudden I go, hey, I love Morlacos' work. Who's this other guy? And I actually have seen his work. He's actually got some pretty kind of cool works here for this Vanguard kind of scene. Kind of a scene on Tezos. So just kind of interesting. You see the power of collaboration in little moments like that. Clown Vamp had a really cool write-up on just some AI artworks. These ones stood out to me by Indido. Their series Obu no Sakai is an exploration into a colorful world dominated by one shape, the orb. The fantastical world feels almost plucked out of an animated film. Every image bursting with potential lore and emanating joy. So again, I described Clown Vamp, who is an AI artist. He's also a patron of AI. So I thought this was a really nice, interesting choice. So give him a follow. Very nice guy. Continuing on. So back to a healthy market. Unlike the ArtNet article, and I don't want to dwell on it anymore, and it shall never be mentioned again unless there is some real update on it. But look, I mean, Strange Thing has a auction, and he has a bid. The minimum was 400 for this one of one. What was it called? Summer.jpg. I guess it's a tribute to Xcopy, which I wonder if it's that. It seems like a distant tribute because there's that X copy of like JPEG Summer. I don't know if that's the tribute or another one. But anyway, signs of a healthy market. Interesting little AI distortion here in that right foot. It looks like actually the shoe is not on. So interesting little dynamic there. And I feel like I recognize this original work, maybe based on a drawing. But yeah, it's a bridge too far, but it's familiar territory for me. Continuing on, back to this trend that we're seeing of like 1,000 or a multi or 500 edition works that you sell cheap, kind of a nice work you've done as a way of just getting your work all over the place. Pretty smart move, and we're seeing it more and more. Because if you own this, you will start to get notifications. So I think people are, jumping in on that. So a cool work by Redrum. Redrumized the world, and 550 copies have been sold. So again, a great market for Redrum right now. And AI is also doing well. Another AI work by Sumi Ray. Really nice kind of like studio. Classic subject matter, the artist's studio, done with AI. Really, really nice piece. Edition of 15, selling for 5 Tezos, just released before we launched. And then there's this other interesting artist, Dextier. Did I bring up their... Yeah. Now, I think it was Mikey de la Creme who first kind of discovered this person, Dextier. And I think... And we were looking at this, remember? So Dextier continues to do very well. Yeah, Mikey Wilson, Rorich, we already looked at that. But I think like Vincent Van Doe is now buying. So let me just quickly look. I think one of these or a couple of these. Anyways, Dextier continues to do very well with these kind of original, kind of half static, half moving, half dynamic images. Welcome to paradise. We'll just look quickly at the thank you very much all. Sold out in 12 minutes. Okay, so just shows you can go from, unknown to hero very quickly in this scene if the right people start buying your work. So shout out to Mikey de la Creme for making things happen. And finally, on the physical NFT front, we have a new work by Daucante Draws, who I just happily profile here. And, just a really nice work in colored pencils here. Mermaid Hotel, free hobo, looks like free HBO. Free hobo, crucial mistake was made. The motel apologizes. And with that, thank you for joining today's episode. Until next time, take care.